Hidden beneath temples, carved into stone or stretching for miles under entire cities, ancient labyrinths exist all over the world, yet no one truly knows why they were built. Were they sacred pathways for rituals or secret passageways leading to treasures and tombs? Let's begin our journey on Bolshoi Zayatsky Island, part of the Solovetsky archipelago in Russia's White Sea. This remote island is home to the largest known concentration of ancient stone labyrinths anywhere on the planet, known locally as Babylons. These winding patterns are both striking and mysterious. Scholars have identified at least 13 labyrinths on Bolshoi Zayatsky itself, and around 35 across all of the Solovetsky Islands. Their age is still debated. Some suggest they were created as early as 2,500 years ago, while others believe they may date to the Middle Ages. Either way, their exact purpose remains unresolved. Were they ceremonial pathways, symbolic representations of myths, or perhaps ritual landscapes connected to the sea and sky? Measuring up to 75 feet across, the labyrinths are carefully arranged from boulders to form spirals and complex patterns, some resembling twin serpents. Archaeologists have also noted hundreds of additional stone structures scattered across the island, leading to the idea that many more labyrinths may have once been planned but never built. Today, the Bolshoi Zayatsky labyrinths remain among the most intriguing monuments in the Arctic, continuing to raise questions about the people who built them and the meanings they carried through time. Now, let me take you to a place where ancient mystery blends with folklore. Off the coast of Småland in the Baltic Sea lies Jungfrun, a remote island that today is protected as a Swedish national park. Beneath its forests and granite cliffs are caves, ancient stone settings, and a mysterious labyrinth that locals have long refused to disturb. According to Swedish folklore, this island was a gathering place for witches. Legends tell that they flew here, especially at Easter, to meet the devil in secret Sabbaths. These tales have been recorded since at least the 16th century, though their roots may stretch back much further. Even today, a warning persists: anyone who dares to remove a stone from the island's labyrinth risks being misfortune. Beyond the legends, archaeology adds another layer to the story. Excavations have revealed that people visited Jungfrun thousands of years ago, during the Mesolithic Stone Age. Chartres and worked stones inside its caves suggest that rituals or ceremonies were indeed carried out here long before the witch legends arose. The labyrinth itself, carefully laid out in stone, continues to puzzle researchers. Its purpose remains unknown. A remarkable discovery in Denmark is changing how we understand Stone Age societies. Archaeologists from the Museum of Southeast Denmark uncovered a vast Neolithic enclosure whose layout resembles a labyrinth, revealing unexpected levels of sophistication in prehistoric construction. The excavation revealed walls and posts arranged in a complex pattern covering nearly 60,000 square feet, larger than a football field. This was an enormous project that required advanced planning, coordination, and communal effort. What makes the structure so unusual is its design. The entrances do not align straightforwardly. Instead, they are deliberately offset, forcing anyone entering the enclosure to follow a twisting, maze-like path. In effect, the structure would have been confusing and disorienting to navigate, an intentional design choice rather than an accident. Why was it built this way? The purpose remains a mystery. Some suggest it may have served as a defensive structure meant to slow intruders, while others believe it was ceremonial, requiring initiates to prove themselves by navigating its complex passageways. Of all the labyrinths in the world, none is more famous than the one described in Greek legend, said to lie beneath the island of Crete. According to the story, King Minos of Crete ordered his master craftsman Daedalus to construct a vast labyrinth to contain the Minotaur, the fearsome half-man, half-bull. Born from the union of Minos' queen, Pasiphae, and a sacred bull, the monster prowled the passages, feeding on sacrifices sent from Athens, 7 young men and 7 young women each year. The horror continued until the hero Theseus, aided by Minos' daughter Ariadne and her ball of thread, killed the Minotaur and escaped the maze. For centuries, the tale was thought to be pure myth. Yet Crete does hold sites that could have inspired the legend. The first is the Grand Palace of Knossos, whose sprawling, multi-level design impressed early excavators as labyrinthine in its complexity. The second is the Labyrinth Cave near Gordon on the Masara Plain, an enormous network of man-made tunnels that would disorient anyone who entered. A third candidate is the Scutino Cave, near Heraklion, which also shows evidence of ancient ritual activity. The Gordon Cave in particular is striking. Its interlocking passages and dead ends form a genuine maze, deliberately carved from the rock. Some scholars suggest it was once a quarry, while others wonder if it served ritual or defensive purposes. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any future episodes. Don't forget to share it with your friends too. It helps the channel out, and I'm excited to continue bringing you more awesome content. One of the most remarkable discoveries in recent Indian archaeology was made in the village of Gedamedu in Tirupur district, Tamil Nadu. Here, researchers uncovered a massive stone labyrinth measuring 56 by 56 feet, believed to date back about 2,000 years to the Sangam period. What makes the find even more intriguing is its unexpected link to Greece. At the site of Pylos in Greece, archaeologists discovered a clay tablet dating to around 1,200 BCE, over 3,000 years ago, bearing a clear image of a labyrinth. The design is strikingly similar to the Gedamedu labyrinth, raising fascinating questions about whether the two traditions are connected. The Indian labyrinth was revealed not beneath a temple, but carved in stone on what appears to have been a ritual site along an ancient trade route. Scholars suggest it may have been used in ceremonies symbolizing life's challenges, where walking the winding path to the center represented spiritual fulfillment or the granting of wishes. One of India's most remarkable architectural marvels is the Bara Imambara in Lucknow, built in 1784 by Nawab Isaf-ud-Daula, ruler of the historic region of Awadh. The name means Great Imambara, a Shia Muslim shrine complex, and it was originally constructed as part of a famine relief project. Its vast central hall, one of the largest vaulted spaces in the world without beams, remains a masterpiece of engineering. Yet the most famous part of the complex is not the grand hall itself, but the labyrinth above it, known as the Bul Bulaya. This maze was never meant to be a puzzle. It was designed as a clever system of interlocking corridors to support the enormous roof. But in doing so, it accidentally created one of the most bewildering labyrinths ever built. The Bul Bulaya is notorious for its complexity. With hundreds of interconnected passages and dozens of similar-looking doorways, it's remarkably easy to lose your way. Some routes lead only to dead ends, while others open onto balconies and windows with sweeping views of Lucknow. Local accounts tell of visitors wandering for hours, sometimes requiring rescue, after becoming hopelessly disoriented inside the maze. Adding to the intrigue are legends of secret tunnels. Tradition holds that hidden passages once connected the labyrinth to the Gomti River, and perhaps even to distant cities such as Faizabad, Delhi, or Agra. While no such long-distance tunnels have ever been confirmed, some entrances have been sealed for safety, fueling speculation that unexplored passageways still lie hidden deep within the structure. Rome has been continuously inhabited for more than 2,000 years, which means that almost every attempt to modernize the city collides with its ancient past. What few people realize is that beneath Rome lies an enormous labyrinth of tunnels dating back to antiquity. These underground passages were originally excavated as quarries for tuff and pozzolana, volcanic materials that the Romans used to build their temples, baths, and concrete structures. The quarrying left behind a sprawling network of subterranean corridors stretching for hundreds of miles. Over the centuries, many of these cavities were repurposed. Some became Christian catacombs or burial chambers, others were used as cisterns or storerooms, and in later times a few were adapted as shelters or hiding places. But their sheer scale has created a serious modern problem. As the ancient tunnels age, their roofs weaken. Every year, dozens of sinkholes open across Rome, sometimes swallowing streets or buildings caused by collapses in this underground network. To address this threat, engineers have turned to cutting-edge tools. 3D laser scanning and ground-penetrating radar are being used to map and monitor the voids beneath the city. These surveys have not only identified weak points that need reinforcement, but also uncovered previously unknown chambers and passages absent from any historical records. The scope is staggering. Researchers estimate that more than 200 miles of tunnels run beneath Rome, perhaps as many as 250 miles, making it one of the largest man-made underground systems in the world. Yet only a fraction has been carefully mapped. Entire sections may still lie untouched, preserving secrets of Roman engineering, daily life, and ritual practices, waiting to be rediscovered after nearly 2 millennia. The Cathedral of Chartres stands as one of the greatest achievements of Gothic architecture and houses what is perhaps the most spiritually significant labyrinth ever created. Built after the devastating fire of 1194, the cathedral was designed to be taller, wider, and brighter than anything that had come before it. By around 1220, the main structure was complete, and it was formally consecrated in 1260. Set into the nave floor during construction, the Chartres Labyrinth became one of the most famous designs of the Middle Ages. Unlike a maze, which is meant to confuse with multiple paths and dead ends, a labyrinth has a single winding route, guiding the pilgrim or meditator slowly toward the center. For medieval Christians, it symbolized the spiritual journey toward God, a kind of pilgrimage in miniature for those who could not travel to Jerusalem. The Chartres Labyrinth consists of 11 concentric circuits, creating a mesmerizing pattern that has since become the model for countless Chartres-type labyrinths across Europe and beyond. Originally, the center of the labyrinth held a large bronze plaque, possibly depicting the myth of Theseus and the Minotaur, a reminder of the labyrinth's classical roots. But this centerpiece vanished during the French Revolution, likely melted down in 1792 for cannon making as part of the widespread destruction of religious art. Despite such losses, the Chartres Labyrinth remains one of the most enduring and influential labyrinths in history. Many other cathedrals once featured similar designs, but most have since been destroyed or removed, leaving Chartres as a rare survivor. If you had the chance to walk the Chartres Labyrinth today, would you approach it more as a spiritual journey or as a connection to history and architecture? Let us know in the comments below. Beneath the streets of Paris lies one of the most extensive and haunting underground networks in the world. The story begins 45 million years ago when the region was covered by a shallow sea. Over time, the sediments hardened into Lutetian limestone, a stone that would later build Paris's great monuments. From Roman times onward, this limestone was quarried extensively, leaving behind a vast network of tunnels and chambers. Today, more than 200 miles of underground passages exist, most unknown to the millions who walk above them. The most famous part of this subterranean world is the Paris Catacombs. By the late 18th century, cemeteries in the city had become dangerously overcrowded, especially the Cimetière des Innocents. Decomposing bodies caused contamination and outbreaks of disease. In 1785, the authorities decided to transfer the remains into the abandoned limestone quarries beneath the city. Beginning in 1786, nightly processions carried bones into the underground, where they were carefully stacked and arranged into walls of skulls and femurs. Over time, the catacombs became both a burial ground and a grim work of art. Today, the remains of over 6 million people lie within, making it one of the largest ossuaries on Earth. But most of the underground network is far more dangerous than the tourist routes. Many tunnels are unstable, unmapped, and strictly off-limits by law. Yet this hasn't stopped secret societies and urban explorers, known as cataphiles, from venturing inside. In the darkness, it is easy to become lost, and rescue operations are sometimes required to retrieve those who cannot find their way out. Near the Fayum oasis in Egypt stands the ruined pyramid of Amenemhat II, a king of the 12th dynasty who ruled during the Middle Kingdom. Today, the pyramid is little more than a crumbling mound of rubble, but in its prime it was a gleaming limestone monument. Nearby lies the smaller pyramid of his daughter Neferupta, part of what was once a significant royal complex. What makes Hawara truly extraordinary, however, is not the pyramid itself but the legendary structure described by ancient writers, the Labyrinth of Hawara. According to Herodotus, who visited Egypt in the 5th century BCE, this labyrinth contained 3,000 chambers, half above ground and half below, linked by winding corridors so intricate that it rivaled the pyramids themselves. Strabo declared that it surpassed the pyramids in wonder, and Diodorus Siculus added details about its ceremonial and administrative functions. These were not second-hand tales, but descriptions from historians who claimed to have seen the complex with their own eyes. Yet despite such testimony, no trace of the labyrinth has been found. Excavations by Flinders Petrie in the 19th century revealed only foundations and fragments, suggesting that the immense structure was dismantled in antiquity, stones reused elsewhere. Some researchers believe the labyrinth stood directly in front of the Hawara pyramid, forming part of Amenemhat's mortuary complex. Modern surveys, including ground-penetrating radar, have hinted at possible buried structures beneath the sands of Hawara. But conclusive evidence has yet to be uncovered. If the labyrinth truly existed as described, it would have been one of the greatest engineering achievements of the ancient world, equal to or even greater than the pyramids of Giza in scale and ambition. In the heart of the Arizona desert stands the Casa Grande ruins, the remains of a monumental structure built centuries ago by the Hokum people. Rising unexpectedly from the flat expanse of the Gila River Valley, the Great House was more than just shelter. It was a carefully aligned building. Its walls pointing to the four cardinal directions and its windows positioned to track the movements of the sun and moon. But there is another layer to the story of this desert civilization, one wrapped in mystery and symbol. Across the southwest, among the descendants of those early desert farmers, a powerful design appears again and again, the labyrinth known as the Man in the Maze. It shows a solitary figure standing at the entrance of a winding path that twists toward the center. According to tradition, it represents the journey of life itself, the choices, struggles, and lessons that each person must face before reaching spiritual fulfillment. Legends connect this labyrinth to the world of the Hokum and to Casa Grande itself, though no one knows exactly when or how the symbol first appeared. Some say it may have been carved or drawn within ancient ceremonial spaces, only to be lost with time. Others believe it was passed down through oral traditions, surviving long after the Hokum left the valley around 1450 CE. What's certain is that the labyrinth carries deep meaning, one that transcends the desert and echoes patterns seen in far-off cultures across the world. On the rugged coastline of Galicia in northwestern Spain lie the Mogor Labyrinth petroglyphs, some of the most extraordinary examples of Atlantic rock art. Carved directly into granite outcrops overlooking Mogor Beach in the town of Marin. These engravings include two rare labyrinth designs alongside the classic cup and ring marks and circular motifs found throughout the region. Dating to the late Neolithic or Bronze Age, the carvings are more than 4,000 years old, making them among the oldest known labyrinth representations in the world. Their placement is striking, cut into rock faces with commanding views of the Atlantic Ocean, suggesting that their location was chosen deliberately for symbolic or ceremonial reasons. The purpose of the labyrinths remains uncertain. Some scholars believe they marked territory or served as cosmological diagrams, while others suggest they may have been linked to ritual activity. A more speculative theory proposes that their westward orientation aligns with solar events such as solstices, hinting at a role in timekeeping or seasonal ceremonies, though this remains debated. First documented in the 19th century, the Mogor site consists of three main carved rocks, Piedra do Labirinto, Piedra dos Campinos, and Lax dos Muros. Today, the Interpretation Center of the Mogor Petroglyphs helps visitors explore both the carvings themselves and the wider context of Atlantic rock art. What continues to captivate researchers is the uncanny resemblance between these labyrinths and others found across Europe and even further afield. What we've discovered today challenges everything we thought we knew about our ancient ancestors and their capabilities. The most shocking revelation is how these identical designs appear across continents and cultures that supposedly never had contact with each other. The labyrinth discovered in India that perfectly matches Greek designs from 1,000 years earlier. The spiral patterns in Russia mirror structures found in Spain and Denmark. The sophisticated engineering beneath Rome rivals anything we could build today. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support means a lot to us. Let me know in the comments which of these labyrinths intrigued you the most, and if you know of any other mysterious ancient structures that deserve investigation. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the most mysterious labyrinths ever uncovered, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button for more exciting videos. See you next time.